Well, this is going to be fun. This is going to be the most expensive unboxing I've ever done. So we got delivered today about a 4.5 kilowatt system from Wholesale Solar. Show you what's in the box, what's in the packaging, how all that works, how it all kind of turned out, that sort of deal. I claim item. I'm sure it is. It's a bunch of, fragile glass and stuff flying across the country. That is a pretty panel. That looks good. Looks real good. A couple damages that we see right away. So we got some scratches in the frame here. On the corner there, a few more scratches and nicks in the frame. This part here though, right, we've got some of this a little beat up. Seems to probably something that just comes off. We got a couple of other spots like that. Right, here's another scratch. Okay, so, well, these ones might actually affect performance of the panel. Maybe. See how it just takes a nice dive, so it looked like something just, heavy enough to bend it, got set right there. So not sure that that will actually affect the performance of the panel at all. Dented this in, we can see, this part of the frame here bent, and this miter came open. So, to be honest with you, this is one of those situations where I'm like, man, I don't really know what to do, right? Because it's like, how bad is this damaged? How much is it actually going to affect the performance of the system? It's like, I want to start getting this on my roof tomorrow or the next day. So it's like, by the time I contact them, report something, figure out if someone's actually going to pay for it or they're going to replace it or like what exactly, right? It's like, would you give me an extra panel? Because that might be worth it, right? But if they're just going to swap it out, then it's like what I'm going to lose in, coordination and shipping time, and as far as actually getting this on the roof. And I'm getting pretty tight to the deadline, right, to make the tax credit for the end of this year. So it's kind of like is it even worth it at that point? I don't know, right? It's kind of maybe I just throw it up there. So that'll be a tough decision to make. Not sure what call I'll go with. I'm sure by the end of this video series, you'll know.
Or perhaps it's just a matter of principle that when you spend $7,000 to $8,000 on something, you kind of expect that it shouldn't be bent, dented, or scratched. Next up, we have the box of small parts. It looks like they listed out each part and the quantity next to it.
Side of that box looks pretty squished. So let's see what we got going in there.
A little tip for you is as you take pieces and parts out of the box, make sure to check them off of your invoice. Use that just like a checklist to make sure you have all of the parts.
What is in the box? So we got that are required by the National Electric Code for different parts of the solar system, labeling the disconnect, panel information, that sort of stuff. We have the end caps for the end caps of the rails. These look like the mounting bolts and grounding bolts. The big of those, the grounding bar. Wires. Like some other bolts or hardware. My assumption is this would be for the center of the panels mounting them. Self-tapping screws, some clips. These are undoubtedly our legs that are going, getting screwed through our shingle sheeting and into the framing members, the rafters. Couple aluminum brackets. And these guys, which I believe are part of the mounting system. There's a bunch of those in there. A bunch of wire. Oh yeah, all of these guys. So I'm guessing this is for flashing. These probably, yep. Screw right in like that. After those big old leg bolts have been drilled right through there. And this might actually be here, our solar disconnect box might be what we're dealing with on this guy. So, cool. I don't see any microinverters unless they're already fastened to the back of the panels. So we have the wiring diagram, which they will send you. They'll ask you a few questions about your system, have you fill out kind of like an online form, and then they'll put that together for you. You won't need to figure this out yet or take a look at this. For the most part, the electrician I'm gonna hire for the system hookup will be handling this part of the project. So that's mainly for them. I mean, the total cost of this guy was $8,592.50. There's state sales tax included in that. Now, if you are in the state of Minnesota, you can fill out a form and they will actually refund you for sales tax. I'm not sure how long that lasts for, but yeah, I think they approve a certain amount of those for solar, which is kind of neat. This is totally a string inverter. That is what it is. You can tell what it is by the way it is. Okay, so now I am really confused because I just opened a box and I have inside of it a string inverter. And I thought I ordered all microinverters. So I'm like, well, that's wrong. I'm gonna have to figure out how I get this shit back to him. But then, as I'm going through my invoice that I printed off, there is actually a line item for a string inverter. So apparently I did order a string inverter, and I didn't order microinverters. So now I'm really confused because I'm like, I thought that is not what I thought I was buying. I thought I bought microinverters. That's what I wanted to go with. But now I go back to a conversation right when I had, so they send you like a form through DocuSign, which is the document signing company, to set up their HC transfer, right? So for your bank account, that's how you actually purchase the system, right? To buy from them. And so I set it up, I put in the amount, and then they called me back hour and a half, 2 hours later and said, hey, like you put the wrong amount in, the invoiced amount was this $8,592, and you put like $7,900. So here's what I'm thinking happened. $7,900 was the quote that I got with the grid-tied microinverters. This $8,500 one is the one I got with a string inverter. I didn't realize that. That's why the price was different. I couldn't figure out why the price was different because I thought I was buying the same one as before. So I don't ever think of that. I said that I wanted them. Now I'm just like confused and I'm like, what do you do? Like, do I call them back and be like, hey, can I return this? Because they do have a 30-day return policy, but there is a 15% restocking fee for all returns. And if I was going to go with the string inverter, I would have gone with, instead of a 315 watt panel, I was going to do a 375 watt panel, which would have been more efficient. And the reason I wasn't going to use the 375 watts with the microinverters is the microinverters can't handle that capacity, so essentially they clip some of it. Like, I don't know exactly how that works, but maybe say they can only handle up to 350 watts, so the extra 25 watts per panel, that microinverter is going to be able to handle, so it just never produces that amount. I don't know. I'm a little confused. Let me pull up my calculator here. So that's why I got these 315 watt panels, because they fit with the microinverters I thought I was getting. But now, like a string inverter, I kind of don't want these panels. I'm kind of like, well, as long as I got a string inverter, I might as well go with the bigger panels. But the problem is, if I go with the bigger panels, the wattage for this inverter will be too big. So I got to figure out how to return something. Probably. So I just take 375 watts minus these 315 watts. I get 60 watts. So that's 60 watts more per panel. Multiply that by the 14 panels that I could fit on my roof, and I get 840 watts. Or I could go this way. I could go 375 times 14, and I get 5. I would have a 5.25 kilowatt system, and this is only for a 5,000. So that inverter won't work. It's not going to work if I go with the bigger panels, and then I have to return those and pay a fee. Man, this just got really. I mean, I guess I could just call them and kind of be like, "Hey, what are my options?" Because you never know. Like, a company might totally be willing to waive a restocking fee. That does happen. But now I'm just like, or, like the seal, or. Anyway, or do I just install this one because it's what I have, and by the time I send something back and then get something new and get everything sent and returned and whatever and spend a bunch of money, time-wise, we're already at the year's over, and then we're next year, and then it's all just a cluster mess of life. This looks like a stressful situation. Dang it. which I also don't know what these are. I've got to contact them anyway because I'm missing them. A solar power optimizer. I'm missing 4. It says I'm supposed to have 14 of them, and they're like $85 a piece, and I don't have them in any box anywhere, and I've gone through every box. So that's one problem. I don't know how important that piece is. I don't know. Well, I'll have to do some research to figure that out. So I got to call or email or something about those, whatever those are. It's getting late. It's dark out. I'm tired of opening up boxes. And yeah, well, this was unboxing round 1. There may be a rounds like 2, depending on what we return. Oh, a reboxing. I don't think that's a thing. Is that a thing? Have we ever done that? Instead of just unboxing, we rebox it and send it back? Stay tuned. We'll have to see what happens on this one because I'm a little too tired to make a decision now, but we'll figure out, we'll get this figured out. Yeah.